hat. There's her hat, model, the details. It's okay. Now my hat. Let's see. There. You're not happy, are you? Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. I am going to be teaching you about cake. I'm going to give you a little history first about a red velvet cake, just a little bit of history. I'm going to give you a little bit of history about the sacre torte, but then I'm going to give you my creation of a jata torte. So I would like to first begin that the red velvet cake, the love and the desire of this cake has become very interesting. After some research, I looked it up and it was born in the 1800s. And some chemical reaction would happen with it between the cocoa and the acid. Some claim it was the brown sugar. I don't know. It's just too much chemistry to talk about right now. But eventually, they started using red dye, and then it became popular. Then it became unpopular, and but the movie Steel Magnolias brought it back. That was in like the 1980s, 90s, and so that's all I know about the red velvet cake for now. You can Google it, you can research it. One of the things that I love about it is after I saw the movie Steel Magnolias, um, I just fell in love with just the whole the strength and the power and the hospitality and just it was just beautiful. It's a tearjerker. Anyways, okay. So now the sacre torte. Now the sacre torte, also 1832. There was a chef that in Austria who was ordered to make a special dessert for the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And he said, translated in English, "Let there be no shame on me tonight." So this cook or the chief chef had to like prepare something amazing. Well, he got sick. He got sick and he had an apprentice and his name was Franz Sacher. And he was only he was 16 years old and he was an apprentice for about 2 years. Well, he whipped up a cake and the Sacher torte is very famous in Austria. It was very famous. It should be in the repertoire of every pastry chef. All right, well, I'm going to make a jata torte. So my torte is a little bit of red velvet cake idea, a little bit of sacre torte, a little bit of what I've gleaned being in the culinary world for about 20 years. And I'm going to show you techniques. Technique is very important. The ingredients are simple. There's just a few ingredients, but it's about the technique. So this recipe, you do need to have some type of scale. I have this, just go to the thrift stores, I don't know, Goodwill or something, or see if somebody has one. I have an old weight scale here. I have one of these, but it's very, very important. So, and when you do use a scale, you have to scale out to 0. You must scale out to 0. So what that means is, there's my scale. I'm going to put the vessel that I'm going to measure the flour in, or if it's the egg yolks, or if it's the sugar, and I'm going to set it to 0. So hold on. Oh, this is my hat. This is my Jata Tort hat. Made one for Daisy and I. Daisy, Daisy, say hi, everybody. She's tired. She's taking a little nap. Or she's just sick of hearing me talk. I don't know. Anyways, so you have to weigh it out and then you can add in, like, see that? Then you can add in your ingredients. Okay. So that's a little lesson about why it's important, why certain recipes you must use a scale. And this is one of them. Okay. So we have to separate the eggs. I need egg white and I need egg yolk. So this bowl, I've rinsed it out with vinegar because I'm going to put the egg whites in here. And egg whites, in order for them to get really fluffy, there cannot be any fat. So sometimes if you've made chocolate chip cookies or you've made something that has a fat and it might still be stuck in here, vinegar will assure, whatever, anyone knows. It will make sure that there's no fat in here and you'll get a nice rise because we're going to be folding in the egg whites in with the egg yolks. It is really a simple recipe. So I'm going to get back to you with the procedure. All right, here I separated the egg whites. They're in here. Now, I could use this, or I could use this, but I have this. But you know what? If I had to get challenged, I would still use this if I had to. Like if this is all that I had, I would use with whatever I had. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip this up slowly. Here are my egg yolks. And here I melted the chocolate. And I'm going to add some butter to this. But first, I need to get the water boiling again. I'm going to let it boil again. All right. I let the water get hot. I've already tempered the chocolate and I showed a little clip of that. So now I want to get the butter in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off, let it not come to a boil. I'm going to place this in here and I'm going to put in the butter and I'm just going to let it slowly temper. It's going to melt. So I'm going to leave that in here. See, it's kind of getting slow. And you know that you've done a good temper when the chocolate has a nice shine to it. And you know what? I honestly am losing. I'm not losing. I've already lost that. I'm using um, just chocolate, any chocolate. I've just kind of consolidated everything. So we'll come back to this in a little bit, but look at the beautiful whip. Gorgeous. And here I want to show you this. Make meringues, but we want this, I want it to be a little bit more stiff, okay? Just a little bit more stiff, but not too much. Okay, let's check out the butter. This will take a little bit, okay? Well, so then let's have a little Polish lesson while we're waiting. All right. This right here is called this is a fanciful hat. I thought I would like to make matching hats to my desserts. So in Polish, you call it a fantastyczny kapelusz. And this is that's how you say it. Fantastyczny kapelusz. I like that. Also, I'm going to teach you the difference between a cup and a teacup. So this is a teacup. In Polish, it is called filiżankę. This is also a cup in English, but in Polish, it is called a kubek. So even the word kubek and filiżankę, one's more dainty and one's a little rougher. So that's the Polish lesson for today.
Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel is the perfect blend of flavor and heat. That's why you can use an entire bottle to make buffalo chicken dip. The kind you might make for when you're watching TV.
Okay, I gotta do it. I gotta do it one more time. In Polish, we'll say jeszcze raz. One more time. All right. So I brought this water to a complete boil. I removed it from the boil. I put brand new chocolate chips and the butter, and I'm gonna let it sit here, and it is going to temper slowly. Don't touch it. Don't kick up the heat. Just wait, walk away, and see what happens. Here, actually, maybe let me find a little spoon right here. Let me just show how it starts to melt. Okay? And just walk away. Put little pieces right there. Okay. We'll see how it turns out, because I'm almost out of chocolate. All right. So now I have egg whites, and I'm going to add a little sugar to this. This is how they make meringue cookies and stuff. It is a little bit, now sugar is an acid, so sugar does cook things. So I waited. Man, if I would have used this, my biceps would look really good. Or this one, oh my gosh. All right. All right. I messed up the first time. Rule: do not add cold butter to a tempered chocolate and pretend you know what you're talking about. Well, I kind of did, but I was hoping, whatever. All right, but I am going to reuse this, but this is how it was supposed to look. All right, so see, there's a nice shine. Okay, I'm going to let this cool. This I'm going to reuse because we do not throw away food. This can be used for a fudge, for a topping of an ice cream, a pudding. I can add it to something. I just have to figure it out. Okay, so here is this, and here is the whipped egg whites. We don't need the water, and the oven is set at 250, so have your oven set. Okay, and here are the egg yolks. I'm going to start whipping the egg yolks, and you're gonna whip, whip, whip until it comes into a nice, like a lightens up. All right, in the meantime, I'm preparing my cake pan, and you want to line it with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use brown paper if you want to. I've used it many times if I ran out of parchment paper. I cut the bottoms off. I save this little bag for like a little treat, give somebody a little treat. And then I'll cut this and shape it out just in case I don't have parchment paper, but I do have parchment paper. But this is just in case. And this is to lift out the cake, okay? This is to lift out the cake so it doesn't stick. If you don't have that, or if you don't have this, put some flour, butter and flour in here. And I do have to say, I do recommend a springform pan because it'll just pop the cake and then you could work with it. So these are different options. I just want to give you different options in case you just don't have it. I want to encourage you that you can find something to use if you don't have exactly what they have. It's okay. You can adapt. All right. So this I'm going to prepare. Okay. Whipped these up a little bit. And I'm going to add to a cooled chocolate. Oh, sorry. All right. There. And now, watch this. There. My goodness. I'm going to have to hire somebody. Help me out here. All right, hold on. All right. There. Okay. There. Okay. So now I'm going to slowly add just half of it. I'm going to very gently fold it. Fold. 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 Incorporate slowly. Fold, because the bubbles from the egg white is what is going to leaven the cake. It's going to make it rise when it hits the heat. So be very careful. You don't want to overdo it. I probably would get scolded for this, but here, I'm just going to dump it in here. Slowly fold. Slowly fold. Okay, I whipped it around a little bit. I folded it. See, all the egg white's gone. And now my oven is preheated, and I'm going to slowly pour this in there. Okay. Oh, I think a little chocolate in there. Move that up. Okay. There we go. This is later. This is to lick the bowl. Yum. All right. So, all right. Do you see? I'm going to give it a little tap. And I'm going to put it in my oven. Okay, right there. Put in the oven. And I'm going to put a pot in here with some water. Put some water in here and it's going to give off a nice steam. Okay, I pulled it out after like an hour and 15 minutes and I did a gentle touch and it's spring. Don't push it because it's super, super delicate and it's probably going to drop around the sides. And I have a wonderful chocolate mousse with a beautiful brush of strawberry. And we're going to see what happens to this. eat the Jata cake with a lovely cup of tea. It's so amazing. It has the right chocolate, sweetness, a little crunch, a nice layer, a little bit of strawberry, a wonderful decoration. And no, Daisy, you cannot have this. There's chocolate in here. Can't do that. So it's kind of a big piece. Yeah, it's a big piece. So I have to make a choice. Do I eat this whole piece with a big spoon? Do I eat this piece with a medium spoon? Or do I eat this piece with the baby spoon? Or should I have just cut a smaller piece? I have to think about it. But you know what? Right now, I want to show you some wonderful artwork that I've been working on during this um, quarantine. So I would like to introduce you to Bridget. Kura. Okay, this is Bridget. I thought that she would look lovely with a matching hat. Let's see here. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the detail, very elegant. So I've been working on this project. This is a It's a 1969. These are pictures that I picked out of a Playboy 1996. And I felt that I wanted to dress up somebody, and I thought this would be a perfect picture. What do you think?